Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good times with Scar here, and welcome back to Scarland, a land where we take survival building to the extreme. And we're here at the Scar Ranch house building project. And in our last episodes, we've been working hard on our brand new stable house. And as you can see, it is now complete. And there's a creeper in there and inspecting. Look at Bob down there, just inspecting it, making sure everything's up to code. But anyway, as you can see, there is one massive key component to this entire build that is missing, and that is the landscaping. And we are going to fix that today. So let's get started. And what we're going to be working on first is getting the pathway assembled and ready to go. And what we're going to be working on is adding an arch similar to what we have in the front. And we're going to add it right about there. And then we're going to have our pathway lead all the way over this big mound of dirt. And I think that will be absolutely amazing. So let me reconfigure this just ever so slightly. And there we go, my friends. We have our stone pillars removed. And now what we need to do is decide on how we're going to arrange this. So as you're walking down the pathway, you are going to be faced with two choices. You can head up into the house like so, or you can turn the corner and head to the kind of industrial area. So my thoughts are that if we kind of push this maybe back to, I'm going to push it to right here. And there's going to be a spacing of 3 blocks in there. So that's just kind of out of the way. It doesn't distract from the house is kind of my main goal. I think that'll work. Perfect. Awesome. Let's get to it. So 3 blocks in the center like so, and then we're going to go up to about 5 blocks, I think. So that's 3, that's 4, and that is 5, and then 2 blocks on top. Beautiful, wonderful, awesome. And then we're going to bring these guys out like so. And then we're going to kind of decide where we want to go. I think from, oh, hello. I don't know. I think, okay, I get it. I know what we're going to do. We're going to go up 1 more block like so. Here, oh, hello. I need an extra block back here. Thank you. Then we're going to sneak back over here and run this pillar all the way back like so. Get that one in there like so. And then let's jump back down and see how we're doing. Okay. All right, I see where we're going, and I see some improvements. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 extra block on either side here. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I agree with you. It's going to get a little top heavy very soon, but my friends, I have an idea to fix that. It'll require a bit of a base. So always think about the bases when you're scaling things. So when you're building little things like this or houses or anything along those lines, trees, is you always got to start with good proportions. So, you got to start, wide and, thick at the bottom like the tree up on the hill, and then you work your way up, skinning it up a little bit. It's something to always remember when you're working is always work in those proportions. Always make sure you find the right proportions when you're doing something. And if you're in this situation where this is going to start getting a little top heavy, where the base, say this log right here, would need to be a little thicker, potentially I might even throw an extra block like right here. I don't know, that might not look good, but I'm glad I tried. But I'm going to cut that out for now. All right. My sword's really going to cut that log down. Okay. So this is the great example of it being a little top heavy. I feel like those little legs are about to crumble upon its weight, but we've got this. We got this. I've got some ideas. We're going to clean this up. It's going to look amazing. So we're going to put that right there. I'm going to come over here like so, and I'm going to click these on top. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to click that right there. Beautiful. And I always think that fences like this or gates are such an underused block, aren't they, my friends? It just seems like when people are building and things of that nature, they always forget about the potentials of the gate. The gate's a very beautiful block, and it's a very, very useful block that sometimes is just very underutilized. Maybe one reason because it's really annoying to place. How you always have to have your your scaffoldings and things of that nature ready to roll. All right, my friends, I think that is starting to look good. So let me start working on the base, and I'll catch you guys in just 1 minute. Welcome back, my friends, and as you can see, our beautiful terrain that we've customized a few weeks ago, and that's what we want to start working on now. So now that we have our archway built up and ready to go, and see how we built up the rock under there, so it gives it just that extra little bit of base. And then of course I added a little extra support under here, and I think that looks pretty good. So first thing we're going to start to do, and I probably shouldn't be doing this with my shovel, but we're going to start kind of carving into the ground here and start laying down some of our pathway material into the ground. So we decided to go with oak wood in our last episode. You guys voted for this, and I believe this is the one that won. I'm pretty confident. So we're going to start putting this across here like that. And yeah, I think that'll start looking good. If I remember correctly, it was very mixed. It was between spruce wood and oak wood. Yeah, you guys were very mixed, but I do believe that oak oak wood one in the end. So we're going to put this like that and then kind of cut these pieces. I don't know if I like that. So yeah, that's kind of the thing, is trying to kind of find a real balance between, you know, style. And of course, this is an artificial hill. We've made this custom. So trying to find the great balance in between some of these can be a little difficult in trying to get like a convincing pathway that looks realistic, you know, going upwards. So, you know, there's room between, you know, the step up to here and then another step. And then you kind of, you know, encounter, you know, this area right here where you're going to need to kind of carve in a little bit. So yeah, it's kind of trial and error trying to get this to work, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to kind of bring this pathway upwards, and I'll meet you at the top. And welcome back, my friends, and I have to admit I may have gotten a little carried away with the landscaping. I kind of just decided just to keep going, and I looked at the clock. It was an hour later, and I was like, I probably should hit record again. And as you can see, I've got the pathway built here, and I just seem to get on this rhythm sometimes with landscaping, and like hours can go by. It's very relaxing. I don't know about you guys, but when you landscape, you guys just get really relaxed, and you start thinking of like, you know, good ideas in your head, and you're just kind of rolling right along. At least I do anyway. Let me know what you think, my friends. And of course, down below here, I think this looks good. If I were to do this over again, there's definitely some changes I would have made. I would have widened this a little bit here and there, and then I would have between these transition steps. So say there's one transition step between another step. So that's kind of like a little transition space. I would have done 2 to 3 blocks in that area. But I didn't have the room, and it's just, we're kind of committed at this point. So I'm going to kind of keep it that way. But just keep in mind, there are some modifications I might still do. Like, let's take a look at this side. See how it's a little bit heavy in the way of oak and that light tan color? It's kind of like red in your face. So I might try to mix that up a little bit. It's a little too heavy on that. So we'll mix in some other colors. But I don't want to kind of dwell on that too long. And that's stuff we could always do later. So as you guys can see, we're going to start building up our pathways. Pathways are one of my favorite blocks. And when Minecraft implemented these blocks, I was just like, come on now, Mojang. Come on now. We make the most amazing pathways. Why do we need a path block? But I didn't really realize the potential of a path block. And that was my failing, was I didn't realize all the amazing things you could do. Think of all of the things that we've done, say, in the actual house here. We've made carpets with it, and all sorts of amazing things. So yeah, I really underestimated this block, and it's just great potential. And see these little blocks here? These are great just to add a little extra texture in any kind of landscape. Say you have some rocks over here, you can just throw in that, and it's not something that the mobs can stomp down, but it adds an extra layer of detail and texture to your build. And it adds that little extra lip of a piece of rock or something, and it gives it that extra depth that you're always striving for in the Minecraft. So I think that looks pretty good. So we're just kind of carving this out. I think that looks really nice. I don't have any of the oak fences, but that's kind of what we need. And another little detail you can always work on is around your build. Say in this little area, really try to mix in a lot of different textures in front of a build. It just adds so much to them. See how we did this? We had a little coarse dirt, a little bit of grass, a little path block. It just adds so much so that your beautiful build, say you've got an amazing build you've built in your world, and you're like really proud of it and everything, but just don't forget about those little details and transitioning from your beautiful build into the ground and transition that awesomeness there so that the other areas of it can shine also. There we go. See, just little details like that. See how that really starts to pull it together and actually makes the build look like it lives in the environment. I think that's a big thing in building, is that sometimes builds that people make can sometimes not look like they're really part of the environment. So that's what you always got to strive for a little bit, is making sure the landscaping and the build are one together, if you will, so that the build looks like it's actually part of the landscape. It kind of even organically grew out, even though it's a man-made structure. Am I making any sense? You just want to make sure that it doesn't look like somebody just plopped down some structure in the ground and you're just really confused, like, why is that there? It doesn't really match the styling of the surrounding. And that's kind of what we're striving for today, is to do. And I think we're starting to get there. So let me get those fences. All right, we got ourselves some oak fences. So right over here, what I'm going to start to do is start pulling this out. So this is similar to what we've done in the front, and I'm going to pull that out to about there. And then these are just going to be a temporary kind of block situation we got right here. So just a really basic design. We're going to come back and add way more detail, similar to what we've done around the edges. And this is another great way of kind of tying in the landscape to the build. and then also kind of differentiating it with the oak. So it just gives that little extra design. And see these little areas, you can kind of clean these up where we have little scar mistakes. There we go, my friends. And yeah, this is one of my favorite parts, just kind of transitioning things around, moving this about, and then you can kind of stick in another one right here. I was anticipating a lot more room in this area for landscaping, but it turns out we don't have as much as I was kind of hoping for, but that's okay. We can definitely kind of make use of this, and I just want to get like a really good base down. So just little designs like that. See how that's starting to kind of tie the rock into the landscaping, which is the fence work. And I think that'll be really cool. I think another transitional archway right here. Oh, hello there, Bob. So I think that'll be really cool. There might be even a pond. I'm thinking maybe even a pond. Who knows? A pond might look good over here. I just get really excited when I'm doing landscaping. I just find it to be fun. And so relaxing. Life could be so stressful, and finding something to kind of relax and do is so important. I think everybody finds something different in life to cope with stress and things of that nature. And definitely gaming and or landscaping is definitely in that category for me. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Like I said before, we're going to mix up the rocks so it's not all just one block of andesite. We're definitely going to do that. But I want to start working on this just a little bit more because there's way more work to do, my friends. And like I said, finding places in life to kind of vent or to kind of relax is so important. You can't just bottle that up and always be mad or frustrated. I always find even GTA to be really relaxing, is to get in a car and to fly around or to, you know, cruise up one of the highways and stuff. It's just a really relaxing thing. Even Red Dead Redemption was super relaxing back in the day. You get on a horse, go walk through the beautiful like western landscapes and things of that nature. Such a relaxing way to let off some steam or some stress. By just cruising around out in nature. And everybody finds their different things. You might have like a racing game or a sports game or something like that. Or even just to walk out into nature in the real life. You know, there's a real world out there too. So put this right here, but it's so good to kind of let go and to kind of leave a little space. And there we go. And I find that being kind of disabled and things of that nature where, you know, you're so limited in life, and when you can play a video game and you can kind of forget all of those troubles and go into a new world and a new kind of attitude where you're playing, and it's like, yeah, you know, everybody's kind of an equal playing field. Everybody's kind of equal here. We're all having fun, not being, you know, judged or limited on one thing. And that's kind of the beauty of gaming. There we go, my friends. Cut those pieces in there, and look at that beautiful detail, all emerging and ready to go. And I still should not use the shovel. Now, I want this pathway to be something that you instantly know that's a pathway. And then some of this, I want this to be kind of natural, you know, grass. So the way I'm going to do that is try to line the pathway with a little bit of coarse dirt, just a little here and there. And I think that might look good. And you can kind of get an idea of how this is all slowly starting to flow together. We're going to grab out a little cobble, a little bit of stairs. I'm going to push that back. I'm going to grab out a little unpolished andesite. And a great way of doing that also is maybe even throwing in a rock or two. And I've been thinking about this. I've always been reluctant, very reluctant to do a tutorial on landscaping. But the reason being is it's not something that anybody would instantly like pick up. Because there's some things that are easy to do as a tutorial, a particular build or a piece of redstone, but a landscaping is something a little bit different, that it's something you really kind of have to practice with the first time you're going to do it. It's never going to be good. Like, look at some of my previous landscaping. It's pretty horrible. So it's something that takes a lot of time to try to find the right way of doing it. So I've always been reluctant to do landscaping tutorials, but I'm really wanting to do it. I really want to do it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, you know, a tree tutorial, rock tutorial, different things like that. And I just want to get you guys' thoughts on something like that. Is that really something you guys want to see? I know I get it a lot, but sometimes it's like, do you guys actually, is that something you really do want to see as a tutorial? Maybe after Minecon and TwitchCon, we could definitely do that. I think that would be really fun. I really want to start adding some new stuff to the channel. After TwitchCon, I want to add Planet Coaster and different things along those lines. So I think that'd be really fun to kind of incorporate in the channel. But yeah, as you can see, this basic design kind of going along here, and you can just slowly mix in things and no real right or wrong way. Just trying to get this all in there so it looks a little bit different. We're getting rid of flowers as always. There we go. No flowers allowed. Awesome. So that's how we kind of make a pathway through here, whereas this is more natural terrain in this area. I'm just kind of doing abbreviated areas. I'll kind of get to the more fine details off camera because that can get a little repetitive. I want to do a stump. I just want to make a stump. I just think it would be fun. Like this area's been kind of carved out a little bit so that they can have the horse area, like a little corral area. So that's why I kind of want to make it like a stump. When you think of stumps, you got to think of the way that the tree was cut down. So if you think of like a big tree, like take where I live in the Northwest of the United States, we have gigantic trees. Trees you would take like 3 people to like put your arms around. And so when these fall, they leave like a gigantic spike in the air right there as it kind of crashes down. So that's kind of the reason I'm adding that. But I don't know if it'll work. It doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. You guys will have to let me know what you think of the design. But I just want to start adding some of these little stumps in here. It just looks like this area has been, harvested down so that there would be a more flat and plain area to work with. And well, there we go, my friends. I'm going to continue to work over here and I'll catch you guys in just 1 minute. And look at the progress, my friends. We are getting this place set up and ready to go. Now, this doesn't look like much, but this has taken hours to get just what we have done from the start to here. Yeah, I do think it's worth it. I think we were getting some progress done. As you can see, I'm adding our little oak kind of slabs here. Oh, hello. I'm going all over the place with that placement. There we go, my friends. We'll put that there, clean our mess up. So this just helps with kind of the transitions and helps kind of establish that this is the path. And then anywhere else is just kind of natural land, my friends. So yeah, and you can kind of mix these in and kind of figure out the best pattern that you want for your design. But let's move over here real quick, my friends, and we're going to start working in this area right here. Now we might have to readjust some of these, fences, but we're going to start working in this spot, like right about here. I'm actually going to move this one too, just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to push it back to about here. I think that's going to be a perfect spot. And this is just another arch. Now this arch we're going to try to make it a little different than the others, of course. So we're going to do another spacing of about 3. I think that's a really good height. And then another 5. I think that's a good scale for the area. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think that's 5. Beautiful, wonderful, awesome, my friends. So what we're going to do, move this all the way up. It's corresponding. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bringing these across like so. And I'm going to sneak across here like that. And then I'm going to go 1 more block upwards like so. And then this one right here is going to stick out. So as you can see, we're kind of mimicking all the different arches, but just trying to find those little extra details within it that make it unique. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to establish those little details that might make it a little bit different, but it still fits in. It still feels natural in that particular area that you're working on. So I'm going to swap in here with some milk chocolate. There we go, looking good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these blocks up like that. And I'm going to scaffold up here. Not the best scaffolding material, green grass, but it's all I got, and I don't want to stop, my friends. I don't want to stop the flow that we have going. So I'm going to put these blocks like that, there, and boom. Awesome. Let's jump up the top here, clean up the top. Beautiful, wonderful, awesome. And let's scaffold our way down. See, look at that. See how we did that? It still has the same feelings that the other ones have, but it's just slightly different. So it's just a little bit unique, and I like that. And then we can kind of add these blocks on the sides over here, and I think that's really cool. And then we can fix up the sides, add the rock around the edges, and then this area will look definitely quite a bit fancier, definitely. Yeah, and I think this area I say this all the time, and it's why I love Minecraft, is that point when you've started to build something and you think you're getting a glimpse of what you have envisioned in your head, and once it starts to materialize in front of you, there's no better feeling in Minecraft to see your creation finally taking root and kind of looking good. It's just an amazing feeling. It's why I love Minecraft, and it's why I'll probably always play Minecraft. There may be a fancy whiz-bang game that comes out that might, catch my attention for here or long or however. But Minecraft will always kind of have that special spot in my heart, and I'll probably always build. As long as I'm doing YouTube, who knows? Maybe someday I'm doing some other game or making travel adventure vlog videos or something. But there'll always be that Minecraft video. I made that promise. I made that promise a long time ago, and I've been making Minecraft videos for like 4 or 5 years now, and I think I probably always make Minecraft videos. Even if, like I said, if there's no game or travel adventure vlogs, I think I'd always be making Minecraft. I just love the process. It's such an amazing creative outlet that I have, and I never want to kind of give that up. And yeah, so let me clean up these fences, and then we're going to start working on them custom trees. And welcome back, my friends, and look at how this is all turning out. We've got so many blocks placed today, and this doesn't look like a lot, but this has taken about 4 hours from all of this and all the way down to there. It just takes forever to place these blocks, but like I said, it's totally worth it. And we're not even halfway there. There's so many blocks to replace and change and see if it looks good. And if it doesn't look good, reverse it back. But as you can see, I started working on some trees. So I'm starting to get some of the custom trees down. So I want to start working on them a little bit more. Now you might notice these ones starting to grow up back here. What I want to do is do some custom trees in the front, and then I think we can fill in the backs with just the standard Minecraft pine trees or spruce trees. I think that'll be perfectly fine for that. So what I'm doing here is just finding little places to start working with these little cliffside trees. It's really fun because it's fun to kind of, you know, insert the tree in here, and then you can find the root structures and things of that nature that can flow together. Look at that, my friends, looking very, very beautiful. And now we can kind of bring this all the way up, and then we can bring that just a little bit higher. There we go. Wonderful. All right. And then on this side over here, we can start just to place the blocks. Now these trees are fairly small. If you compare the size of these spruce trees, I keep calling them pine trees from Hermitcraft because we have the Scar pines and of course Hermitcraft, but here in Scarland we've got these spruce trees. So these are a little smaller than the roller coaster trees. Now those were much, much larger. Now we would grow a standard Minecraft double wide tree, and then we would customize it from there. From these ones, these are going from the ground up customized, and I want these to be just ever so bit shorter. But I've been reconsidering that slightly. I might in some areas do a tall tree, not like that ugly one, but you know, something maybe just a little lower, but then doing a custom top on it. And I think that might look good because I don't want to do all the trees in this kind of short style. I think they look good close to buildings, but then farther away, I think I want some larger trees. I think that might look a little bit more natural in the area. And the mountains. There's those mountains over there. This is a daunting task that I've been keep putting off, is getting the snow and getting those ready to go, because what I want to do is actually entirely engulf those mountains in snow, stone, ice, glaciers, and all sorts of wonderful things. I think we can get away with quite a bit of the snow if we use diorite. So we're going to try to do that. I think that will actually look good. And it's one of the few cases where diorite actually looks really amazing, is as snow and or a glacier. So I think that's actually a really good case to use that in that case. So I think that'll be really awesome. All right, let's see, bring these guys all the way across here. And then I'm just going to duck down here and just add a couple more branches down here. And yeah, custom trees take a long time. And sometimes, you know what, you might not even like it. You might want to take it down. Don't fear about that. That's totally okay if you don't like the tree. Make sure you always jump down here and add some little hanging leaves down at the bottom. Don't make little you know, flying saucers that are just straight. Make sure you add some little hangy guys down in the bottoms. They just look like little things blowing in the breeze, so totally natural. I'm trying to make sure that's as natural as possible. One thing to also avoid when doing a tree, this is always important if you're doing those, making sure the branches are flowing. Eventually you might start skewing the tree to one side too much, and then you have this weird little point at the top where you have this giant base, and then a really small point. So then you always want to jump back up and just freshen up the top just ever so slightly. Thicken it up, and you might even want to reverse or change the way it's positioned at the top like I did there. I moved the center point over by one block, and I think it is looking very fine, my friends. Very fine indeed. Oh, wait, I don't have an elytra. I literally just tried to fly. I tried to fly. I feel really sad now. Perfect, perfect. That is exactly how we wanted it. I love it. I love this angle right here. I love it. I'm going to take a screenshot. We've got the beautiful archway. We've got the mountains. We've got the tree. We have the pathways. I love it. This does remind me of some of my favorite areas in the world. So, yeah, so I'm going to continue to add a couple more trees, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that that's a mini tree tutorial. All right, my friends, we are at the very top. The oxygen is very thin, but it is well worth it. Look at that absolutely amazing view from above here. We can see the entire ranch house and all of the areas around that still need landscaping, but you can definitely make out where the progress has been made. A very, very lush and highly detailed design. Look at the pathways, look at the barn, look at the trees, look at all of the details. And then you can see where eventually there'll be rivers and trees and all sorts of other amazing details throughout. And I cannot thank you enough, my friends, for coming out and watching today as we transformed another area of our landscape into our brand new prairie style biome. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the video deserved a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.